can I have a cheer, please, from everybody here who knows the game Soggy Biscuits? Right, and who here has no idea what this game is? That's the cheer of people who don't want to know either. Okay. Well, let me tell you, Soggy Biscuit is a game invented and played by stupid men. And the way the game works is as follows. They get together of an evening, form a tight circle around a biscuit. Then they produce their appendages, stimulate themselves onto the biscuit in no particular sequence. It's literally last come, first served. And at the end of the game, the last person to do the deed has to eat the biscuit. Now, you may well make that noise, and possibly a game of rainbow parties would have been a better choice that evening, but don't worry, I don't think this game has ever happened. There are huge logistical errors with the setup. First and foremost, getting it onto the biscuits. Now, like most men, I consider myself quite adept at touching myself, and it is a good day if I don't hit myself. So the chances of me depositing on one 3-inch baked snack are pretty small indeed. You know, a Farley's rusk, maybe, but, you know, at the same time, quite sinister, you know. Baby's hungry, can't help you now. I mean, you have to be in quite tight. If one of you's left-handed, the entire system's ruined, you know. You know, and there also has to be more than one of you, because otherwise that really is an example of being a winner and a loser. Oh, and yeah, and what's the point? What is the point in playing? Because, as I understand it, the person who has to do that deed is the person who lasts the longest and has the most problem masturbating in front of other men. He's effectively the most sensitive heterosexual lover. You know, and which means they must have invented it in public school. Have you seen Jenkins, the new guy on the dorm? Yes, the women love him. Right, let's make him eat his own jizz. Now, if you've seen me before, I'm expecting something slightly more cerebral. Don't worry, because Soggy Biscuit, rainbow parties, and probably the whole Hartlepool monkey hanging story, Oliver, all urban myths. Because the key reason why we should all confront any inaccuracy levelled at us is that if a story is good but inaccurate, other people will tell other people, it will snowball, and it will become de facto true. And this is the reason why you must always confront anything you hear that you do not agree with. And the flip side is true too. If you tell someone something negative about themselves, often enough, they'll believe that too. Because this entire show turned on its head for me earlier on this year when something major happened in my personal life, and there was nothing I could do about it. It wasn't my fault, but because I've been told so many times what was wrong with me, I blamed myself. One drunken phone call was all it took to effectively destroy an 8-year relationship, and it was ironic because I was working on this show at the time. And I say ironic because I was working on something that would have made that phone call impossible. If you've seen my previous shows, have people seen the show I did last year at all? Anyone here? Here you have. Okay, well then some of you know that I'm really into my inventions, and not just for comic purposes. I invent things, I've got various patents out there, and I was inventing something that would have made this entire situation impossible. It was the mobile phone with integrated breathalyzer. Now, seriously, this will save relationships everywhere. It's very straightforward. What happens is you program in the names of your family, your loved ones and your colleagues, and if you're just too pissed when you make a call, it knows and the call will not go through, you see? That's a genuine invention of mine. And before you're thinking that's quite elaborate, Stephen, for a joke, trust me, right? These exist. Look them up under my name. I've got various commercial ones. I've got the toothbrush with integrated floss. Okay, very pleased with this. It's a toothbrush with floss around the handle. Quite a good idea. Don't nick it, patent it. I'll fucking have you, okay? Oh, we've got the Lemsip kettle. This is quite a good one. As we all know, Lemsip requires hot, not boiling water. So what does everyone do? They boil the kettle, then they add cold water. Ridiculous, isn't it? They take longer, they use more energy, so what we need is a hot button, and it will just go up to that. Now, some of you are thinking, yeah, again, quite elaborate, but trust me, my inventions aren't just all about making money. I do seriously want to make the world a better place. And the next invention is free to anybody who wants it. If you can make this, you can have this. It is the uncrashable train. Now, if you look at a normal train, you'll see it is slab-sided. So, when it hits the front and back of another train, there's a huge release of energy, a massive collision, people die, it's pretty nasty. It doesn't have to be like this. Because with the uncrashable train, we have a wedge shape, which effectively will pass by each other. And it's not obvious from that picture, but if we look at it from overhead, we'll see there's a slight crocodile nose effect going on, and it's best seen in isometric. In which what happens is the two trains are slightly top-heavy, so as they pass each other, they push each other off the rails, and both trains derail. Now, this will cause some injuries, but no deaths, and as you can see, the people are able to phone their friends on their mobiles, you know, get put through to Sky News. And that's Richard Branson, by the way, appearing for a very important photo opportunity, you see. The uncrashable train. And I asked some of my engineer friends, and they said, you know what, it's expensive, but it will work. But it's not the invention I'm looking for at the moment. At the moment, I'm thinking small. I'm trying to stop the amount of waste we have in this country for food. It's one of the big, overlooked ecological disasters for the UK, how much food we throw away. Because we buy it, it goes off, we throw it out. And one of the problems I've noticed is that when we buy something and it says, use within 3 days of opening, we never know when we opened it. We put it back in the fridge and we forget, don't we? So this is what I've got here. It's a scratch panel. And the way it works is you scratch off the day you opened it and it reveals the day you need to eat it by. Now, obviously, some of you are thinking this is quite a good idea, but I'm thinking the poor, they're going to love it. It's a scratch card. Let's see if I've won anything. And again, I thought a good idea. I told one of my friends, they said it's quite good, but right now, the problems in packaging are actually the other way round. Not people throwing stuff away that's gone out of date, but people eating stuff that's gone out of date. Packaging has now got so good that people are looking at things and thinking that looks nice and eating it and getting ill. So I have come up with something called Best Before Ink. It is an ink you can put on packaging that goes off at the same speed as the food inside. Do you all remember fax ink in the old days? Thermal paper, how it would slowly fade away? Well, we just put this on packaging. So, for example, we've got a carton of fresh milk. Now, I've always hated that, fresh milk, because, you know, when you buy it, that's true, but after 14 days in the fridge, it's just milk, isn't it, you see? So the word fresh fades out with the food. Likewise, we can have a bottle of best ale. Looks quite nice, doesn't it? But after a year in the cupboard, stale. You wouldn't want to go anywhere near that. We've got some sausages. Now, sausages are a nightmare. You never know how long they last. Is it a month? Is it a week? You know, and the chances are they could cause some serious illness. So once these go off, danger. You wouldn't want to go anywhere near these. Oh, an orange, again, what is it? Is it a day? Is it a week? Is it a month? You never know. The problem is, once it goes off, it'll become rancid, you see. And then, liver. I mean, you wouldn't want to eat it usually when it's in date, but Christ, if it goes off, what could it give you? E. coli, you're absolutely right. And then finally, the worst of all, pre-packaged meals, all those enzymes cause all sorts of problems. Would you want to eat 1 month old crispy half-ducker noodles? Fuck no. Fuck no.